Okay guys, welcome to the Showmatch. We have Warhead Junction as our map. I believe this is very likely going to be the only map that we're going to see. And we have the blue team against the red team. So you might look at this right now and you think to yourself, Khaldor, what the hell are we watching? And well, we were supposed to jump into the best of 9 grand final. We have Team Beast Titan going up against Reverse, so Korea versus China. But apparently some of the players of the Chinese team were delayed, have to start late. I'm not quite sure what exactly is going on, but I was told when I came into Battle.net that the game is a bit delayed and that we are instead starting off with a show match. So I expect some probably crazy drafts, and we have some of the best players from the Healing League, from this Korea Cup now in the match. I think we're probably only going to run one map. Maybe we're going to run more. Depends a little bit on how long it lasts and how quickly the Chinese are going to be ready with the entire team. Interestingly enough, on the red team, we have one of the Chinese players. So Haben, for example, is using this as a warm-up, as it seems. We had Rain earlier joining the lobby too, so at least some of the players are already here. I really think it's basically just 1 or 2 missing, being delayed, and therefore they decided to just push this a bit so that everybody, you know, can play with their full lineup and, yeah, check things out. I mean, it is a long series, and for us, honestly, it's not really that bad if it's a bit delayed. Allows the Americans maybe to tune in and catch some of the action live, because, yeah, time zones are obviously a little bit tricky in that context. But when it comes to bans, we have at least normal bans, more or less for now. Vala would traditionally be banned here, but again, in Korea. But they're banning Sylvanas. So I'm a bit curious. I want to see what kind of draft we're getting. I mean, this is obviously a bit of a fan service game, and we have some of the top players, as I already said, of the tournament playing here. But I want to see if we're going to get crazy comps, if teams are now trying to just play this out, you know, with a normal composition. We're starting with Genji, okay. I really expect that at some point we're going to get Cho'Gath, Murky, Gazlowe, or at least something like Suljin, Kel'Thuzad, whatever it may be. Especially with Capybara. With Capybara over on the blue team side, on the front line, anything can happen. That front line could go absolutely bonkers. I would be a little bit disappointed if he picked the normal tank here. Dehaka. There we go. You see? Dehaka and Abathur. That's what we're starting with. So here, this is more like it. Dehaka, Abathur to kick things off. Warhead Junction is the map, and yeah, nice. I mean, the map in and of itself was already a bit of a meme, but yeah. But on the red team side, they're actually playing this with a new Brock. Okay, let's see. So, meantime, also a quick reminder, HTC mug and hot butter through cheese merch and all of these things are in the shop. There's a link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. There was actually a comment the other day, we need a hot butter through cheese merch with an image. And I was like, have you checked the description of the video? I mean, we've had that now for nearly 2 months and it looks amazing. So you should actually check that out. But yeah, we get Rhaegar and we get a new Brock. And then over on the blue team side, now that they started things off with Abathur, so you want to see what the copy target is going to be. Your traditional targets would be something like Greymane, Jaina. Can of course go for all kinds of shenanigans with that. I wouldn't mind seeing Samuro here. Give me Samuro with Abathur and just, you know, annoy your opponent to death. The red team, on the other hand, is seemingly trying to play a more normal game. I can understand that Haben, for example, wants to play a normal hero, because again, for him, it's also the warm-up for the actual best of 9 grand final that we're going to get later. Stukov gets banned, so a triple support ban coming through from the red team. Alright. Taking 3 of them out immediately. I mean, I assume that we're going to get at least a couple. Maybe they were worried that in addition to Abathur, a double support. I don't really think so, but we've seen all kinds of crazy stuff. Triple support, triple side lane. Some of the Korean teams have wild drafts in some of these games. But, well, let's go. We get Maiev, we get Chen. Oh, fat Illidan for Capybara. Now he gets it, and we're going to have Abathur Symbiote together with Chen. Yeah, this is already terrifying. Dami is, by the way, that one that locked in Maiev just now. So, Dami also on the side of the blue team. This is just absolutely terrifying. We have a full-on melee lineup for them. I guess we could get Karazim as the final pick if they want to stay full melee and have Abathur also to assist. Abathur's solo support would also be kind of funny. But here comes Illidan and Blaze. Okay, I like it. They at least add Illidan to the equation. Could go and try and control this with a bit of a pseudo-global approach, just simply going into the hunt on Warhead. Leaves us with our final pick. Are they gonna go for an actual healer, or are they just playing it out with Abathur? Both is at the end of the day possible, but I would assume that we're gonna get a healer. Maybe it's gonna be Karazim. They go Lily! The double panda tag team. Warhead Junction, everybody. Welcome to the show match here on the Korean server. And yeah, with that, let's jump straight into the game and see what we're gonna get. The drafts look fun. Let's hope the game is gonna be as good. Alright, show match time. Let's go! On the left, the double panda tag team with Lily and Chen, assisted by Dehaka, Abathur, and Maiev. So we have a lot of frontliners here playing for the team. And Hyde is actually playing Abathur and is currently rocking that with the Envenomed Nest build that we've already seen a few times. I believe Team Aging Curve has played it in the tournament itself. Over on the right side of the map, we have the red team playing with Genji, Illidan. So already very aggressive here. Genji, Illidan, we get Rhaegar, Nuburak, and Blaze to round things off. Illidan with Immolation as a level 1 talent. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. A show match to buy a little bit of time for the grand final to start. Definitely gonna be an interesting one that we're getting here. And I just wanna see what the teams are going to pull off at this point. I mean, it's gonna be, or it should be pretty entertaining. The draft alone is already pretty sweet. I mean, we're starting things off with Illidan, Fat Illidan on the other side. We get Lily in the same game, so lots of pandas. You could say that they're pandering to the audience. What a joke! And that just kicks the draft off, or the game off. Incredible. Oh my god, he's on fire today. Must be because I just had a coffee. Anyways, now that they're starting to jump... Oh, Lily! And, they're taking both of them out. Both of the pandas are dead. Xi Jinping is not going to be happy about it. Winnie the Pooh is going to have some strong words for the blue team, because, for the red team, because that was just not cool. Maiev is eliminated, and so is Genji, so we're starting things off with fireworks over here, as they're starting to take some of these out. Down at the bottom of the map, Abathur is obviously taking position over here. Full-on Pajama Thor. Hyde knows how to go for proper skin in this game. And then over on the right side, we're now looking at Illidan just starting to take camps at the 1 minute mark. Everybody is also prepping up for the nuclear thingies, for the warheads. It was actually kind of funny, because when I came online, there was a lobby open, and I immediately jumped in, and I looked at it, and it was like, wow, we are starting with Warhead Junction? Really? A map that I haven't seen in the entire tournament yet. I'm not even sure this map is actually in the pool, but then I was very quickly... Well, it was very quickly explained to me that they are running a show match because the Chinese team, or at least some players on the Chinese team, are a bit late today. Meltdown on level 4 for Blaze. Thankfully we didn't have a meltdown in the game yet, but it'll continue. Oh, Rhaegar. Rhaegar gets murdered. Yeah, we have a pretty aggressive game on our hands. Top side they're pushing too. Illidan, of course, also pretty decent when he is just leeching onto structures and tries to take them out. So that's another thing to watch out for later on as all of this continues. I mean, by now we're having 2 kills to 3. The first warheads are being deployed, so we're going to see very quickly which team is able to walk away with a few additional ones and how they use it. As a general rule of thumb, when you're talking about Warhead Junction, one of the most important things to win this map is the top lane. Whoa, they are really going for the panda hate. That's kind of crazy. The boss at the top is insanely crucial. This is normally what ends the game. So traditionally, when you're talking about the warheads, you can prep other lanes, of course, as well, but oftentimes they're being used to try and push the top lane out. You can also use them when the boss fight eventually happens to try and secure the boss by using some of your nukes. But the story at the end of the day is that a lot of the games here are being decided by which team takes the second or at the latest the third boss, because that thing is so insanely powerful that you can absolutely crush opponents here. Don't know about crushing opponents. We're getting a lot of heroes that are getting farmed here. 4 kills to 4, so it's happening on both sides. But damn, they are really going for the Showmatch spirit and embracing it here. Mass aggression happening in the game. Capybara already has to be a bit careful. Is playing his Chen main tank, of course. I've been talking about him a lot during the tournament because I find it insanely funny how he was able to embed that particular choice in the Korean meta. Way more teams have now started to do the same thing. Oh, there's the tether. Nice play, Maiev. Good job, Dami. Able to take out a Nuburak with the help of Abathar and the Fort. Job well done. They still want the Warhead, and it looks like they might even be able to get it. Genji came in and thought, hey, I can interrupt that, but that's likely going to be the end of him. Fat Illidan jumps in, Chen is on the case, and that is a dead Genji. So, a little bit tricky for them. 6 kills to 4, slightly in experience. Nuburak, the Haka, with a global that he's running also in a very good position down at the bottom of the map, can give the team the extra experience that they will need for a few of these things. And then in the middle of the map, the attacks still ongoing. In this case, actually a quick drag against Blaze, who might be in trouble too. Haka's moving in for that. Same time, the fight in the middle. Lily, uh-oh. She's looking for adventure. She might find a lot of death here, but it's Rhaegar that falls. So the blue team able to sustain themselves through the fight. Also because of the help that they just got from Abathar. And Abathar is of course going to really get his power spike after level 10 when he can go for the copy. Always assuming that we're not seeing a Monty, the monstrosity approach here from them. So that should actually help them quite nicely. I mean, while they're still fighting all of this out, we have at the top still our pseudo 1 versus 1 between the Haka and the Nuburak. I say pseudo because obviously we have somebody trying to help out with that a little bit, and that someone is the Slugger. Another nuke already being deployed right here as they're starting to make the little play. And I'm just waiting for the boss to be attacked. We have level 10 abilities now, the 5-minute marker has already passed. So I'm at this moment just waiting for the boss to eventually be taken. Down at the bottom of the map, the attack is also still happening. So they're starting to make their moves right here. Well, we'll see who's going to be able to push through the bot lane and maybe take that first fort out first. Because right now the team is actually doing a pretty decent job to try and take that on. The wall has already been destroyed. The fort itself has lost some coins. Now we have the keg, the barrel. They want to go for the camp here. Attack is happening, and Rhaegar pinned into the corner. But Lily dies too. Both of them are losing their support here. And the fight continues. Full on, all out action as Maiev Force and the red team is starting to get some headway here. So the invade has not worked out for them. Instead, what we're seeing is the camp taken and a couple of heroes eliminated in the same process. So a bit unfortunate for the blue team. They are still ahead in kills, but that definitely cost them, and it cost them a lot of momentum too, which results in the red team starting to go towards the top and immediately push for the fort, which they should honestly get now. So they're in a pretty decent position. Once that fort is taken out, that boss could become a much, much bigger problem. So always keep an eye on that. Shen already has to keg away. Yep, he's on his way out. And the red team, a little bit in the driver's seat. They might be behind experience and in kills, but that was a very, very important structure that they now took out at the top side. Can always then go with the tunnels down to the bottom of the map and try and make a play here. Now again, the Haka is already there and is slowly starting to make his move. So we'll see if they can build on that a little bit. For now though, next attack. They're trying to go for the Haka. Can't quite get him. Level 10 abilities for both teams. As expected, we are getting the Hunt. And in terms of damage, it's Genji with the 20,000 that is looking at the top damage for... Oh, Hunt comes in! And Chen is gone. Yep. Illidan and Abathar are the only ones that haven't fallen yet. Now the Haka gets farmed. Once that you have Illidan on your case, you are in trouble, and they're just cleaning house. They're going for Maiev, and she can't escape either. You have Genji and Illidan just chasing you down the entire time. And even the ult is now being used to try and take Lily out. So she's suffering a lot as well. They're going for the fort at the bottom of the map and are doing some serious damage here too, even dropping the nuke to ensure that they can take it out, which means that the second fort is now destroyed. So 2 forts gone on the blue team's side. And this is now finally also putting the red team ahead in kills, in experience. and as we said before, in structures. So they must feel pretty damn good about themselves here, as they are making some big moves towards their next goal. And I'm still waiting for that boss at the top to be attacked, because yeah, that normally ends the game. Not necessarily the first one, but yeah, eventually. So we'll see what they're going to do with this. I mean, either way, as it stands right now, we have the blue team trying to recover. They are on level 13, so then too far behind. They have an opportunity to bring this back by just playing their game, fighting even talent fights. And yeah, they have to still react to what the red team's doing, because now they're poking in the middle, hoping that they can eliminate another fort, and that would be the final one. But I'm still eyeing, at least on the minimap, the top, because that is where things could change. At least on the European scene, that's where we normally see the main attacks happening. Illidan is coming in. Yep, and that's the end of Lili. Lili is gone again. The double Panda tag team so far not really working for Team Blue. They're losing the Haka as well. Yep, they are definitely in trouble, specifically Capybara now. Shen gets targeted, and obviously he stands no chance as at the united power of the opponent. And now the boss is wide open, and this one is going to hurt a lot. Now at the bot lane, at least Abaza can push this out, so the bot lane fort will likely be low. Well, with Blaze coming in, he's actually stopping the entire minion wave before it approaches, so he might be able to save the fort too. Might be a bit too close. But what I wanted to highlight is that they need to get the experience to get to level 16, because once that they push with the boss and level 16 talents, this one is going to hit hard. That should at least cost the blue team the keep. Yeah, I think now that they're also going for the camp, the keep should be the minimum that they're getting here. I would be personally shocked if they're not able to do that. 16 is now ready, so now they have the lead. Camp, on the other hand, is about to be taken. The blue team takes the camp. Nicely done, despite the talent advantage. So they had a number disadvantage. Abaza died. Apparently wanted to go for... sorry, Illidan died. He wanted to go for Abaza, I think. Not quite sure. The slug survived.
Hail to the king, baby.
And the boss is now doing damage at the top, but the red team had to retreat. So as far as defense goes, that was pretty damn good. But the keep is still under pressure. And they're chasing. They're chasing hard. They're really looking at drilling more heroes. Blaze is now gone. The problem is that nobody is really dealing with the topside keep. And keep in mind, Abathar has not taken Mule. They can't repair this. This thing is gone. That keep is destroyed, so the next boss is going to be a disaster if it's claimed again by the red team. Yeah, they at least are able to take a couple of forts out. We have now 16 versus 16. We're looking at 22 kills in total. I'm glad that the players are having some fun here, but this is still tricky. So, here comes again the keg as he's starting to slowly move out. Capybara! They go for the nuke! Nuke it, baby! Oh, I'm not sure that's gonna be enough here. Here comes the kill. Rega is down. Taken apart by Abaza. Maneuver Rock is also low. So is Mayet. Both of them in trouble. Dodging the jet propulsion. Nicely done. Illidan. Yeah, they get Illidan. So that's 2 heroes down on the red team side. 2 eliminated. Damage output 43,000 for Genji, 42,000 for Abathar. Obviously catapults at the top, a little bit of a nuisance, but let's face it, 12.5 minutes in, not really the biggest problem that you're gonna face here. That push at the bottom of the map might break through the wall, so that's a bit more of a concern. Top side, let's check that. Boss, 2.5 minutes. Again, once that it's back, this one is going to be important. If the blue team is not able to take it and the red team grabs it eventually, then they're likely going to go for game with this. So that's the big issue that the blue team is facing. And they gotta focus on that. It's now 12 kills to 12, but if they are not dealing with that topside boss once that it respawns, then it's going to be a big issue. Now, I don't think that any team is gonna happen to jump onto level 20 mega early or anything. But Dami now with Maiev, taking the next few camps, trying to apply some pressure at the bottom of the map. Topside, of course, that camp that was just now taken is gonna push. The Haka will deal with all of that. They have a global, so it's not really a big deal for them. Chen as a main tank with a triple front line that they're playing. And so far working out quite nicely for them. But now here comes the attack towards the middle as they're taking another fort out. That is the final one on the blue team side. It has now finally fallen. Yeah, boss, let me see. 1.5 minutes. Alright, that timer is actually pretty massive. So, yeah. They're pushing in the middle. Bottom fort has been destroyed, but they need to defend that. Or they're going to have to face the music there. Because losing another keep would now also be another problem. But thankfully for them, it doesn't really come to that. Could have happened though. Yeah, they're starting to jump in on this one slowly. Trying to make a bit of a move. Big camp still at the top. Catapult is coming in as well. And of course, the death timers, sorry, not the death timers. The catapults have not scaled yet. Death timers obviously scaling now into the later game pretty heavily too. Abatha, slap it. Come on, come on. Come on, Hyde. You know you want to do it. Slap it. No slap. Kind of disappointed. Maybe later. He's waiting for the core. He's gonna slap the core if he can. Okay. Oh, that actually hit hard. Genji gets nuked. Quite literally. Ancestral is in. Illidan again. And also the barrel is out. Top kick plays from Chen. As Genji comes in with a Dragon Blade. He's low. And he's still able to get away. Gets the mobility here. Waiting for his cooldowns to come back. Could zip in once more. Chen is trying to go for him. Oh, there. Chen is gonna fall. They're dropping him eventually. Chen is gone. The drag against Blaze, and at the same time, if the jet propulsion comes back and he connects it, I think we're going to see more fall. They're going for the Haka, and this is going to be the end of him. The Haka, it was actually the copy, my bad. So the Haka copy goes down, but they are still having some hopes of going for Maiev, and the boss is back up on the map. So if they're getting another kill here, they could definitely go for the boss at the top lane. They got 60 seconds until Maiev is back up on the map, 30, 40 until Chen is back. So now they're slowly starting to rotate over. We already have a noob. Oh, but a noob. That's bad for them. Yeah, I think that shuts any attempt. Well, Illidan is now also on. Damn. The isolation might have missed, but those 2 kills were still super important. So you can scratch the boss at least for now. Catapults are now moving in, and Hai doesn't like that at all. So Abathar is slowly moving back here. Still putting the toxic nests into play. But yeah, they can't take the boss any longer. So this is something where the blue team has done a nice job defending. They're also getting the early level 20 now because of it. And we'll see how much damage they can do. But Lily, in the meantime, has gone for her Weaver talent, Mist Weaver. They're also getting the untapped potential. I'm actually a little bit salty, like untapped potential, okay, untapped, joke, Blizzard, great talent name. I think they should have gone for some top shelf plays or something. That would have been so much better when it comes to just like stupid puns. So yeah, when it comes to the dad jokes, Blizzard should really contact me. I'm always happy to help out there. They themselves, sometimes, you know, they're able to hit a little nugget, but generally speaking, it's a bit disappointing. Dehak, he's dead, isn't he? Illidan comes in. 1 stun is all they need here, and yep, there they get it, and he's dead. He's dead, and they get a nuke to boot. So now the chance to nuke the bot lane a bit. I'm honestly not quite sure why they're not just simply saving those for the top. I would have immediately started moving to the top, get the boss, and use the nukes there. They had 3 nukes against 0, if I'm not mistaken. So it's the best opportunity. Now they're going for Lily. The Panda is gone. They can take the copy out as well. That's 2 heroes gone. If you're at the 17-minute mark, take the top boss, the game is just simply over. Going for the bottom keep, fair enough, but they could also just simply go for core here. Either way, it seems like the red team is going to lock in the victory on the show match. So here comes the play, and yeah, maybe. The core is losing its shield so quickly. It's kind of insane. So nicely done. The red team wins the show match on Warhead Junction, ladies and gentlemen. Maiev and Chen are both down, and that is game. GG, well played. The red team with victory.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Well, we're going to Hanamura. The show match continues, everybody. So we're going apparently for I'm not quite sure if we're going for a full best of 3 or if we're just going to play 2 maps and then either it's a tie or one team walks away with a victory. Either way, we now have the red team in the lead after they just were successful on Warhead Junction. So now we're heading into Hanamura. Another very fun map, of course. And let's see if the blue team can redeem themselves here. Didn't quite work out for them on the first map. Again, this whole show match happening essentially because the Chinese team that participates in the grand final, Team Reverse, wasn't able to make it in time. But it's kind of funny, first of all, to see Warhead and now Hanamura. And also some of the picks that we've seen from the teams are obviously a little bit out there. With specifically Capybara, it's kind of funny that he went for his Chen main tank immediately, but then he gets the assist from Lili, so they're going full on into the Panda train. And then Illidan on the other side, which worked really well for them too. Even the Slugger getting a little bit more Abatha action, which is always welcome. But after game number 1, Genji is banned, they ban Nubarak out. It's just a little bit intrigued to see what exactly they're going to do on Hanamura now. This is the map that we're probably seeing the least these days, and most of the players really hate it. So, yeah, really don't like it. Now, one of the reasons why it's essentially not in any map pool. Most of the time when we have map pools, we let the players, you know, just make some decisions around it as well. So we're asking, for example, hey, which maps do you want, which maps do you not want? And Hanamura gets usually just eliminated immediately. So they're banning Vala this time. Yeah, with the Sentinel and everything on the map, we're going to get quite a bit of action in the middle, I would assume. Capybara locks in Lucio immediately, highly doubting that he is going to play the support. But I guess they're going to just swap things around. But let's see what we're getting for the red team, how they are responding to it. So Lucio for quick rotations. Essentially, we have 2 lanes on the map as well. And you have always the payload that you can escort around too. But the red team, after their victory on Warhead Junction, let's see what they're going to do here. Stukov and Hogger. Nice. Stukov and Hogger to start things off with. Okay. I have my eyes a bit on Hebin to see what he's going to play here. I assume for him it's also, again, a warm-up. Oh, Zarya and Blaze. So we're already going double Overwatch, but having Zarya in there should probably trigger a ban on Garrosh. At least when I see Zarya from a European perspective, Garrosh is one of the heroes that I would ban out immediately. If you have the speed bubble on level 4 and you allow Garrosh to just rush into the team, then you can take people out very quickly. So, what are they banning? Well, they're getting rid of Maiev. Maiev was played on the last map, so alright. They're a bit worried about that. Dami hasn't picked yet. Hyde can swap over into Lucio. Could of course also be the case that the red team is going to just simply pick Garrosh for themselves. They still need a tank too, so they haven't gotten one yet. Or the team, or it's just not a thing here. That could also be the case. But there's Sergeant Hammer banned out. No troll picks just yet. Last time we started things off with Abatha very early, we got Lili, but now teams are starting to go a little bit more into, yeah, let's play this a bit more serious and get picks here. Come on. They're actually hesitating quite long here. I want to see if they're picking Garrosh. Or if that's an option for the blue team. They go Tyrael. This is the first Tyrael that we're actually seeing. It's probably one of the things that surprises me in the tournament the most, that we don't have more Tyrael, because generally speaking, Tyrael has been a very consistent pick, specifically in the eastern scene, but also in the western scene. So now that Tyrael has been chosen, you could go Garrosh. So if the blue team wants to play Garrosh, maybe with Capybara, they could do that. Zarya, Garrosh as a combo, always very powerful. Capybara leaning essentially more towards side lane tanks, but still. Oriel and Sul'jin. Alright, screw a main tank. Who needs that? We get a double support Sul'jin with Zarya behind it. So, yep, it's getting spicy. Game number 2 is going to be pretty fun. And that leaves us with our final pick on the red team side, as they of course would hope to go for the 2-0 victory. But what's the final choice? They now need a, well, maybe a triple front line for them even. They have Cassia as the main damage, and here comes Artanis. All right, get some blinds in the house with Cassia and Artanis. Either way, guys, Hanamura is map number 2, so let's go. Game number 2, over on the left, we have double support with Oriel and Lucio plus Zarya. Blaze is being played as the main tank, so to say. It's actually kind of funny that Capybara is playing Lucio here. And then we are getting Suljin played by Dami. Over on the right side of the map, with a 1-0 lead in this show match, we have the red team with an interesting lineup as well. They're playing this currently out with Artanis, going straight for the Protector of Aya. We have Tyrael and Hogger, so a triple front line for them. Stukov, and then also Cassia. So, let's see how this is gonna work out. So, yeah. It should be pretty fun. I mean, again, obviously it's all about Suljin at this point from the blue team's perspective. So they're going to try and just stack him up like crazy, going into Recklessness as the level 1 talent. And if Dami is able to play around the blinds on the other side of it and just really get those stacks together, then it's going to be an absolute disaster in the late game for the red team. But they really want him. Look at this. Tyrael is already down and going all out on Suljin. But he gets pretty decent stacks here. They're getting 3 kills with this. 3 kills in the early game. They went hard on Suljin, but they couldn't get the kill, and now they're just breaking through the bottom of the map. The swap was there as well from Artanis, and even with that, they couldn't take Suljin down. So he's at 7 stacks now, and they're breaking through the bottom wall already. So, yeah, looking very, very strong here. I mean, 6 City. Feel the heat from... Oh, feel the heat from Zarya, but Lucio is down. Again, losing a couple of heroes for the blue team is not really a big deal. As long as you are in a position where Suljin survives and gets stacks, you're going to be fine. Artanis is stacking on the red team side. The same is also true for Cassia, who has gone into Thunderstroke as her level 1 talent, so she can also end up with some serious late game damage. But I would assume that Suljin is still running the show here. Dami is obviously an absolute monster. The guy is fantastic, an insane player. And having him on Suljin is gonna benefit the team in the long run by quite a bit. So these early game attacks that we're seeing from the red team are on the one hand designed to apply pressure to Suljin and hopefully take him out. The best way to stop a hero from stacking is to just kill him. But the problem is, if you fight these big team fights, yes, Cassia can stack, but so can Suljin. And Suljin is the one that currently has a double support behind him, and Zarya as well. So that makes things very, very tricky. But we'll see. We'll see what they can do. How far they can go with this right now. Obviously, the attack's still happening as they are hoping to take them on. But yeah, well, still trying to see how much more they can do with this. I mean, right now they are already going for the first fort, which is honestly a little bit insane if you ask me. I mean, at this point they're doing damage that they shouldn't be able to do this early in the game. 3 kills to 1 definitely kicked things off quite nicely for them. But yeah, it's a little bit wild. So Suljin is stacking, is sitting at 15 stacks, which means that we now have the range increase already available to him. 20 stacks for Cassia, which is pretty good too. It's actually pretty decent. So Cassia sitting on 20 stacks this early in the game already is another nice one, so that really helps them here. Artanis is stacking, of course, but yeah, overall, I'd say Suljin is exactly where he wants to be right now. In a position where he can start to not only pressure the lanes, as they're currently doing with everybody, but also to stack things up even further. So, yeah, looking pretty darn good, honestly. I don't want to tell what they can do with that, but I would assume that they're going to be pretty happy with how things are going right now. That fort is gone. The payload might be escorted over by Blaze too. I mean, this entire game is working insanely well for the blue team. They're looking great here. And you can tell that the red team has decided that they want to take it a step back. They don't want to be as aggressive anymore as they were previously. They're just stepping it back a little bit, trying to slow things down. Very questionable on the other hand if that is going to really work for them. So time will tell, I suppose, but as it stands right now, with level 7 in their hands, with 18 stacks for Suljin, him going on level 7 into Ferocity, all in on the auto attacks, not going into Arcanite access, they're still looking pretty damn good here. So they want to go for the payload too, and if the opponent pushes in and allows a fight, then they're going to be happy with that. Now I have to highlight again, Cassia is stacking very well too. She's at 32 stacks already, and we're only 4.5 minutes in. That's normally a number that you're very happy with if you get it around the 8-minute mark, just before. They are also looking with Tyrael very likely into Judgment as a level 1 talent, considering the build they're running here. Starting things off with the Ardent Defender, and then also the Ardent Restoration, and then Divine Vigor and Purge Evil. Would be kind of funny though if Tyrael had as a level 1 talent Ardent Defender. Uriel would probably be a little bit salty, but it would make for some very interesting games, for sure. So, 3 kills to 1. And yep, things are definitely gonna get real spicy if this goes into a late game. And this is a big if, because now with the shots fired, the topside fort is basically gone. The fort at the bottom of the map has fallen. The blue team is absolutely running the show here and is really pushing forward on this game. They're now trying for another fight at the bottom of the map, and Suljin of course wants to go for the double swing, but at the end of the day, what they really want is just to get his auto attacks on a level where he is ripping that front line apart. And they're going to take out the top fort pretty quickly. So now we have catapults pushing as well. So that's another big one that they have here. Yeah, and how much further? I mean, at this point, things are looking pretty darn good for them. So we have more camps taken. Damage output, since the game has started to slow down a little bit, is at 18,000 for Zarya. She's actually top damage in the game, even ahead of Suljin for now. That will change later. Cassia is on 16,400. And they are trying for Artanis at the top for just a moment. He's getting completely swarmed here. Lots of auto attacks coming. Nice whip! Very nice one. Good whip from Auriel. Hyde able to do some damage there, so that worked nicely. But not enough. They have, on the other hand, the Sentinels. Now there's an opportunity to break through another gate. And I gotta say, the red team obviously has level 10 abilities that play a role. So the red team is playing defensive for more than one reason. But it's weird to see that the red team the entire time has been playing a very defensive style. And it's just sitting there taking it. They're losing too many structures all over the place. Blaze is down at the bottom of the map. Now the wall at the top is gone. Obviously, they're locking in their own heroic abilities in a moment, but they have to step it up at some point and just start to go out and go for an attack, or this is going to be an easy victory for the blue team. Level 10 should give them, I suppose, Judgment, and then they might be able to do some work. It's going to be interesting what Artanis takes. I mean, he's going for the blind against Suljin. I could have seen with Judgment and potential follow-up stuns, also trying for Laser. Laser in general is a pretty shitty ult, don't get me wrong, but if you have a lot of CC that you can chain and lock the target down so it can't move, then Laser can be decent. Judgment is expected, Horda pulled us in, so now they can make more of a play here. Cassia, by the way, talking about making plays, she's now at the 8-minute mark at 40 stacks. So while her initial stacking was pretty insane, she has slowed down significantly because both of the teams are not fighting all that much anymore. So still decent numbers for her, but nothing really to write home about. So yeah, mommy and daddy are not going to be insanely proud or anything about what's happening here. But the attacks slowly starting to build up as we speak. And well, Aegis is out. Lurking arm attempt. Can we do something here? Can we maybe see a play from one of them? So far it's not really happening. They're starting to jump in again, and level 13 talents also getting dangerously close, I want to say. So yep, that's another one. With level 13, maybe force these fights too. And look at this, more payload shots, more... I mean, the blue team is just running over them. Blue team controls the entire game. If not at some point we're seeing a big play being made by the team in red, then I just don't... it's going to be in total walkthrough. They're going through them like hot butter through cheese, honestly. 4 kills to 1. The keep gets destroyed, and the entire game has essentially been the red team making a big play initially for Suljin, And then after that failed and they lost 3 heroes, they've just been sitting tight, trying desperately to find an angle, find an opening, couldn't get one, and just accepting the beating. Now they're trying to come in. Aegis is used right away to safeguard Suljin. Hasn't even had to use his ult yet. Their Satan is gone, and I think that might just be game. I mean, Suljin isn't even done with his quest yet. He's about to lock it in. He has 29 stacks now. There it is. Only 10 minutes in, but what are they going to do? Amazing zoning from Zarya. Somehow Cassia still gets out. They're trying to go for Hogger, but they're still sieging up on the core, so they're not walking away from this yet. They still think they have a chance to take the core out. They're working on the shield. Again, only 10 minutes in, so death timers are also insanely low. They're pushing Suljin out with a quick shove from Stukov. Might be a bit too early to end the game here, but with them already destroying 2 forts and 1 keep, I mean, you know that they are in dire straits. So now damage output 34,000 for Cassia, 38,000 for Suljin. By now he's top damage in the game, just barely ahead of Cassia. But this might again change. And Dami is having some fun. So if the red team really wants to turn this around and win the map, then they have to eventually step it up and force a proper fight and get some kills. They got 1 kill. Kill against Lucio earlier. That's all that they got so far. Every single attempt after that to go for Suljin, to go for anyone else, has been shut down immediately. The 2 supports just way too strong, with Zarya providing the added shield. And of course that damage coming in from Suljin. So things are pretty tricky for them. It's not an easy one. Now at the top, the next attack is already coming in. Half a level until 16, so it's not like things are getting any better for them. They're trying to take the camp, and they might just be able to get it. So yep, camp is at least taken. And now comes the play. And maybe the opportunity to force the fight. 16 talents aren't there yet. In comes the first... Oh, the first blind is there, but Cassia is in trouble. She's not the only one. That fight is splitting very aggressively now. Jet propulsion connect. Nice. Well done. Good shove, though, and it might save Cassia. Artanis is dead, and here comes Lucio. So yeah, this is going to seal the deal on Cassia for sure. They're flanking in aggressively against her, and she's not going to make it. She shouldn't make it. Stukov dies. They switch targets. Cassia's actually getting out because they were switching targets on them, but it's still 2 heroes that were killed. Both Artanis and Stukov are gone, and that means with 7 kills to 1 and a level 16 talent advantage, they can now easily go for the core, take it out. This is going to be the victory. Hogger dies too, and an easy game for the blue team. The draft working perfectly for them. Suljin now, on the other hand, needs some heals. Went for his own ult. They're still attempting to get kills. He's stacking hard. He's at 48 stacks now, so the damage is really just exploding for him too. 53,000. But they have to fall back for just a second. The core of the red team is down to 24% at this point. And here comes the right click. They should be able to lock that in now. 5%. Cassia's gone. Make it 3. It's all she wrote. This is game. And we got a tie here in our show match. Nicely done. Well played. The blue team with the victory on Hanamura.